Hello there. So Macron is still strutting around Napoleon style, demanding that the UK is punished for not obeying French orders to hand over more fishing licences. As per usual, please like, subscribe and comment below. And when subscribing, please do press that little bell, but also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. So the French government is still insisting that the EU must gang up on and punish the UK for Brexit, in a move that goes 100% against their own Lisbon Treaty. You know, those treaty laws they pretend to hold so dear to their hearts. In a move that contradicts it, the French Prime Minister Jean Castex sent a letter to the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, basically saying that the UK must be punished for Brexit and be shown it is damaging. And Joe Barnes, Brussels correspondent for The Telegraph, tweeted out, French PM Jean Castex has sent a letter to Ursula von der Leyen, the Commission's president, to notify her of Paris's planned reprisals against the UK in the fish war. Castex asks for support because the EU needs to show leaving the Union is more damaging than remaining in it. And the letter he sent itself carries the line, translated from the original French text, "It is essential to clearly show European public opinion that honouring the commitments entered into is not negotiable and that there is more damage to leaving the Union than to remaining there." Now, Article 8 of the Lisbon Treaty says, "The Union shall develop a special relationship with neighbouring countries, aiming to establish an area of prosperity and good neighbourliness, founded on the values of the Union and characterised by close and peaceful relations, based on cooperation." Shall develop. An instruction to all member states. Going around punishing neighbouring countries for daring to have different views to Brussels is not on that menu and is not cooperation. And it's not mentioned like that in Article 50 either. But also consider that, as I've said before, international agreements can always be renegotiated. In fact, it would be astounding if they weren't. Sounds to me like the French government is creaking at the seams and is copying what an Argentine government does when their economy goes into meltdown. Point at the Falklands and make more demands, all for Argentine public consumption. All the French government is doing is substituting fisheries for the Falklands. Anyway, the French president, temper tantrum Macron, has also upped the ante by claiming that UK credibility was on the line over this. Well, I have to say that his credibility is being torn to shreds as he throws ever more teddies out of his cot. Where the UK is concerned, the French government's first response to everything is to throw insults and threats and warnings. The EU Commission should put France firmly back inside its EU box and quickly. Or it will be Brussels that loses its credibility. It will be shown as weak where France is concerned, something that might be of concern to other smaller EU nation states. Now, it's being reported that Brussels is looking at all of this to see if the French demands meet the conditions of the post-Brexit Trade and Cooperation Agreement, the TCA, that was signed by the EU and by France, of course. But France is hammering on about the only language that the UK understands is the language of force. All very combative, especially as far as I can make out, fisheries represents about 0.6% of French GDP. Now, Remainers have always said that because fisheries are only a small part of the UK economy, we in the UK should just roll over to EU and French demands. But these are UK waters, and as fisheries represent such a small part of French and the wider EU GDP, then it is them that should do the rolling over, not us. Anyway, can you imagine the fireworks if the EU Commission decides that what France is demanding happen to the UK goes far beyond the pale and refuses to endorse it or waters it down to pointlessness? That would cripple Macron's presidential re-election campaign. The Macron meltdown would be epic. So here's hoping. Anyway, who do you think the US President Joe Biden has decided to back in this purely UK versus France and the EU fishing spat? Well, before I get on to the obvious answer, I just want to say a massive thank you to all my Super Thanks, Patreon and PayPal supporters, as well as those that do buy a mug with my mug on it. Links in the descriptions box below. You really do help me keep this channel going. So it seems that Sleepy Joe Biden has now become an expert on the post-Brexit fishing deal between the UK and the EU, and so has come out in favour of the EU and France in a totally predictable move. Sleepy Joe had a meet with temper tantrum Macron in Rome yesterday and tweeted out afterwards, "The United States has no older, no more loyal, no more decent ally than France. They've been with us from the beginning, and we will always be there for them." But all this might have absolutely nothing to do with fishing. Remember that recent AUKUS deal that sent Macron and much of the EU into high-velocity orbit? The deal where Australia would end up with an 8-strong fleet of conventionally armed but nuclear-powered submarines. That sudden joint announcement out of the blue between the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, the US President Joe Biden and our own Boris Johnson. Well, I had wondered at the time who would be supplying the hardware, and most people believed it would be the US. But get this, the UK nuclear submarine HMS Astute is right now visiting Perth, Australia, and the Telegraph says, "The arrival of the 16,000-ton hunter-killer vessel offers Britain a chance to push its case to build similar submarines against stiff American competition," analysts have said. Now, according to the royalnavy.mod.uk website, the 100-personnel vessel is first of her class, is the lead submarine in the Royal Navy's fleet of attack submarines, and is one of the most advanced SSNs in the world. And the UK Defence Secretary Ben Wallace did say a couple of weeks ago that the UK is in a good position to come to such a deal, saying, "I am very confident that British engineering, British skills, Australian nous will deliver a very good submarine." So it is extremely timely that HMS Astute happened to be in the area and available for a visit so soon after the AUKUS announcement. And there is also talk that HMS Astute will take some Australian officers to sea for a demo. Although it must be said, given the usual diplomatic niceties and the complexities surrounding nuclear submarine deployments, one wonders how long this visit has really been in the diary. But also consider that the AUKUS deal itself wasn't magicked up overnight. But at the end of the day, the US might have felt compelled to get this AUKUS deal done in the face of growing Chinese belligerence against Taiwan, knowing that the US might not end up being the benefactor, which might go a long way to explaining Biden's anti-UK stance on just about everything else. That is to say, telling us to get back in our box and keep our mitts off the AUKUS deal while keeping our name on it. So what's your opinion on temper tantrum Macron? Please like and comment below.